Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to explore some essential logical functions in Power BI. In the previous video we have covered filter functions in Power BI. Now we are going to explore logical functions. These functions help you to create more complex and dynamic calculations. We'll look into the AND function, NOT function, switch, coalesce, true, false, and if easy to understand example. Let's dive in. First up, we have AND function, and this function checks if multiple conditions are true or not. If all conditions are true, it will return true, and otherwise, it will return false. Understand with an example. Imagine that you have a table of sales data with columns for sales amount and region. If you want to find out if sales is both greater than 500 and from the west region itself, you can use the AND function. We will implement this in our data as well. Move on to the data set. We have the supermarket sale. We will create a new measure which will calculate AND functionality and function. Let's name it. We have to calculate revenue. Sum of revenue. We will add AND function where the revenue is greater than 500 and the sales the order ID will be 1001. Order number is equals to 1001. Let us see, it should return the revenue of 99.98. Let's see if we are correct or not. So it shows blank value, and let me tell you why. Because we have given a condition that this revenue should be greater than 500 and the order number is 1001. So let us see that revenue is greater than 500 or not. So for order ID number 1001, we don't have revenue greater than 90, greater than 500. So this condition is false, hence we get the blank output. If we'll change the condition, like I want to change it to the 99, that we can expect the value. You can see that. So that is what AND function is. Let's move on. NOT function. And the NOT function reverses the result of logical expression. If expression is true, not make it false, and vice versa. Let's say you want to identify the sales that are not from the order ID 1001, so that it will return the revenue from the ID that will be not including the order number 1001. Let's make a measure for it. Not example. Let's calculate the sum of revenue where order ID is not in 1001. It will be visible to you in a matrix. So let's make a matrix for it in the new tab. Not example and order number. So let me remove the order number and right now we have the sum of notex function. Let's add the sum of revenue. What is the total sum of revenue? According to me, the 99.98 value, that is for order ID 1001, should be deducted from this not example summation. You can see that there is a difference of 99.98 uh, difference of 99.98, and you can calculate it with the previous value. This is the previous value and this is the not value. So that's how. Next we have the switch function. The switch function is like a more powerful version of if it evaluates the expression against the list of values and returns the result corresponding to their first match. Suppose you have a column for uh, sup- let's not suppose, we will implement it. Like let's raise the customer on the basis of order quantity that they have ordered. So let's rate them. If the order quantity is greater than 3 or 4, it will be considered as the phenomenal and excellent customer. So let me start with switch. The column name order quantity. By the way, it is a calculated column. Order quantity. If the order quantity is 1, then it is poor. If the order quantity is 2, then it is fair. Order quantity is 3, then it is good. Order quantity is 4, then it is excellent. The order quantity is 5, then it is phenomenal, else it is unknown. Let us see. We can see that if we have the order quantities as excellent, good, phenomenal, unknown. Let us see what where the unknown came. You can see that there is no order quantity over here, so it is unknown. Let's move on to the if. So if it's just like a switch, you have to do just a change of syntax if and else condition. Suppose you want to label high sales or low sales. A function is most commonly used function. It checks the condition and returns one value if the condition is true and another value if condition is false. So let's make a rating. If the profit is greater than, let's say, 50, then it is excellent sales, and if not, then it is need to be improved. So let me create a new measure which will if sum of profit is greater than 50, then it is, or we can say that less than 50, then it is not so good, else excellent. You can see that in the syntax there is a logical test that it will go through. If the sum is if that logical test got true, then it will check the first condition, else it will go on to the false condition. You can see that I have this profit and rating, and in this when the profit is less than 50, that is showing not so good, else it is showing excellent. So this is what if does. Next we have coalesce. Coalesce is a handy function that returns the first non-blank value from the list of argument. That imagine that you have a column for actual and forecast sale. You want to display the actual sale if available, otherwise it will display the forecast sale. We'll calculate this. If sum of profit is greater than 50, then it is, or we can say that less than 50, then it is not so good, else excellent. You can see that in the syntax there is a logical test that it will go through. If the sum is, if that logical test got true, then it will check the first condition, else it will go on to the false condition. So to showcase you about the functionality of coalesce, I have created one table in which it contains the date, the actual sales, the forecasted sales. So what we want to do is, if actual sales is blank, then we need to get the data from the forecast sale. So how we can do that? We'll create a new column and it will coalesce test. I will add a coalesce. If first I want to check the actual value, if it is blank, then add the forecast value. So you can see that the actual value remains the same, and the blank value which I have in this column, actual column, is replaced by the forecast value, that is 200. Same goes for this value, it has 334 now. So that is for the coalesce value and how it works. Now we will move on to the true or false. I don't want to dive deep into the true or false. It's just I will dictate you what it is. True or false is, true returns the true value and false returns the false value. As simple as that. That is the functionality of true or false. That is most common in all of the language. You can use any of them. So these two function returns true or false. So that's it for today's video. We are going to continue this DAX series in the next video. Thanks everyone. So to showcase you about the functionality of coalesce, I have created one table in which it contains the date, the actual sales, the forecasted sales. So what we want to do is, if actual sales is blank, then we need to get the data from the forecast sale. So how we can do that? We'll create a new column and it will coalesce